A very good evening to everyone. Welcome. This is Monday night. I am Ryan Hill in the booth with you. This is SimRace South Africa. I have with me Nick Hudson. Nick, how are you doing tonight? Yeah, we are indeed. This is another sort of historical Italian circuit. Perhaps not very well known outside of GT3 and I think Superbike. I don't know if it's the World Superbike. Actually, wait, no, I think it is the World Superbike. Championship has some rounds here as well. And just putting the track layout out on the screen for you. Yeah, Misano track, originally built in 1969, still used today for a couple of things. GP, as I mentioned, Formula E, I think, had its first round at this track earlier this year. Quite nice to see. And then, of course, the GT World Challenge, which is what we're essentially here simulating. And yeah, we'll have a track guide up in a bit, but 16 corners. Relatively flat, I think this track is. Not too much elevation changes, but a good amount of straights and lots of 90-degree curves, some sort of more gentle corners as well, so a bit of a mixed bag. So it'll be interesting again to see which kind of cars are going to come up trumps tonight. Stand by, Nick. I've just been advised that this cannot hear you for some reason. That's possibly a mistake on my side. Give me a sec to try and troubleshoot that out. Interesting. Give a shot again, Nick.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the new round. Is that much better? Okay, right. So, as I was trying to tell everyone, Misano, very much a technical track. We're going to be seeing a lot of challenge from the drivers from that perspective. There's not a huge number of overtaking opportunities. If you get stuck behind someone, it's going to be very difficult for you to make any kind of overtake. Yep. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how these drivers deal with that. In particular, you know, from a weather perspective, I've seen some pretty hot track temperatures out there on the practice server side of things. So at the moment it's 31, but we definitely see the track get up to 40 degrees in sort of race conditions. So it's going to be very interesting to see what that holds for us as well, particularly from a tire wear point of view.
Yeah, that is going to be pretty interesting. As you say, hot temperatures today. We've got the weather forecast up on screen at the moment. It's 31 degrees, but if you look closely at the top middle, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'm expecting temperatures to be upwards of 40 degrees on track temp by the time of the afternoon race session. Although, actually, Sunday the race has been set at 10 o'clock in the morning, so it might creep up a couple of degrees, but that's all up to the weather gods. There's a little bit of a variation in it. There's an extremely small chance of a thunder shower, I think 7% or so, but yeah, probably exceedingly rare at this stage. A quick look at the championship standings. So this is round 4 of 5. This is where the guys are falling at the moment. Ross Bartle currently heading up the charts with 43 points in his Mustang, followed relatively closely by Mark van Rensburg in his Lambo with 35 points, and then rounding out the top 3, Harris Boyce in the BMW, 24, and then there's a slew of Mustangs that followed. Cars like a Porsche. Jason Lack also wants to look out for tonight. He looked very racy last event out, getting it nice and sideways, I recall, drifting around, yeah, getting this Porsche. So we're looking forward to see the other manufacturers take it to the Mustang. And,
yeah, definitely. And we haven't seen the Mustang around this track as yet. You know, obviously the Mustang being the new car on the block. And what I would expect is for this to be a track that the Mustang's not particularly strong at. I would expect something like the Lambo, for example, to be much better. Actually, the Porsches could be really, really strong here. As you know, at the moment, just seeing practice session, we've got Jason Luck in his Porsche at the top of the timing charts right now. So yeah, I mean that's just what I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess it's not a track that's suited to the Mustang, and of course we've got almost half the grid in the Mustang tonight.
Yep, indeed. I've got currently up on screen the lap records that have been recorded on SGP by these current drivers in Division 1. Ross Bartle is heading the top of the charts with a 133.8. That was in the Audi from quite a couple of seasons ago. That was recorded as 2022 as the recorded lap. Hannes van Beek coming up in the Aston Martin V8 Vantage more recently earlier this year with a 134.1 under race conditions. So yeah, but it's anyone's game with the BOP now in effect. I don't believe that was in the setup of the lap records that we're seeing on screen now last time. And then of course, as Nick says, we've got the Mustang joining the field.
Yeah, definitely the BOP hadn't been applied at that stage, and right now what we've got on track is very much a green track. So yeah. We would be expecting these times to tumble quite quickly.
I can see in the background that we're at the end of the free practice session now, so we're about to go to quali. Before we do, I'm going to quickly run the hot lap guide, so see you in a couple of minutes. Alright, we are back now with live pictures. Keeps the Coach Dave lap. Last lap there, pulling by the Ferrari 296 or 132.9, something like that. But yeah, live pictures now, currently on board with Martin Rensburg in his Lambo. The driver is essentially out on the out lap.
Yeah, of course, they've only got 15 minutes now for qualifying. The track is optimum, so we should see those times an awful lot quicker than what we saw in free practice. The time, of course, has advanced as well. So now the air temperature, we've got 36 instead of 31, and a track temperature of 42 instead of 31 as well. Yeah. So, yeah, things definitely heated up in terms of track conditions. That'll be great for a qualifying lap, I would imagine, but what that'll look like from a race point of view, we will have to see later on as Mark van Rensburg crosses the line to start his first flying lap in his Lamborghini, of course, doing quite well last time out, if I remember correctly, Ryan.
Yeah, he did indeed. He got his victory. I don't want to say maiden victory. I'm sure he's taken some before, but perhaps of the season, I think that was his first victory.
Yeah, certainly for the season, first victory there, and great to see Great to see that Lamborghini doing so well. Jason Luck as well last time doing very, very well in that Porsche. Just a little bit unfortunate. A few incidents put him further back from where we thought he might have ended up. But nonetheless, could be out for a good round this time. I think this Porsche is going to be quite well suited to Misano, so we'll have to keep an eye on him. And then we'll see what everybody else can do. We can only got one BMW engine governor, the only BMW of the field out here tonight. We do generally have a couple of the BMs, but it seems like tonight there are a few people who hit the skip round, and we've only got one BM and one Ferrari, it looks like, and Timothy Gomez.
And no hardest boys that normally pedals the other BMW around here in Div1, and then he's taking a skip round for tonight. And Jeremy de Villiers, I believe, is the other Ferrari normally, but he is also taking the next round, possibly two off. It all depends on how he recovers from injury. I believe he's having some issues with his back or something like that that's giving him some trouble. I'm not quite fit for racing just yet, so hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll see Jeremy back at it.
Yeah, Sean Bingham, I think, is the other guy generally in the Ferrari as well. But of course, Sean moving and doing all sorts of things.
Yeah, he's found out.
Has also had yeah. Right, so we're just waiting for the first few lap times to come across there. They are Martin Rensburg currently top of the pops with 1:34.4, followed by Ross Bartle, Michael Ruin, Hannes van Veek. Ross very close behind though, only 0.187 at this stage, so Mark with provisional pole, but still a long way to go. 10 minutes still left of this qualifying. So it's definitely, we're going to see what the rest of these Mustangs can do, but it does seem, Ryan, that they've got certainly one lap outright pace.
Yeah, it seems like it's just from the provisional results right now. 2:34.5, so quick out of the gates. But we'll see as the rest of the field settles and finds their feet and get on. Also just looking at track limits here, as we see Thomas Phillip run a little bit wide. I'm not sure if that will be validated his lap or not. But yeah, one of the only Astons on the field with one.
Yeah, from memory, I think Misano is fairly strict on track limits. We will have to keep an eye on that during the race as well. Remember, these guys get sort of 3 sweeties to use, so to speak. You get 3 track cuts before you'll get a penalty. Penalty being a drive through, and if you do it again, I think it starts to get more severe. But of course, a drive through in a 75-minute race is quite a that's quite a big penalty. So yeah, very difficult to come back from.
Quick shout out to everyone in chat as well. Currently on the live stream. Thanks, Rich, for letting us know that Nick could be heard earlier. It saved us a bit of a boring stream, otherwise, I'm sure. And then how's it to Rudy? Else around. Thanks for joining.
It'll be interesting to know why Fridge isn't racing tonight. Of course, Fridge and myself were at Swartkorps this weekend for the Lotus Challenge, part of the historic inland tour. So yeah, we were battling it out on track this weekend. It'll be interesting to know why he's not with us tonight. But hopefully be back for the next round. Yeah, so I see Hannes van Veek has now popped into the top provisional top spot of 34.1, with Van Rensburg now being 2/10 behind. Ross Bartle slipping into 4th position at the moment. There we go, Mike LaRue now up in 2nd. There we go, Ross Bartle. So these guys are really starting to find their rhythm and find little bits of time here and there. So even though the track's optimal, it's that these cars, they're still finding some evolution in their qualifying and getting into the rhythm.
So sharp at the top end. I mean, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are all separated by 0.01, 0.02. So anyone's game just to gain a 10th in a corner, just anywhere or a kilometer of the track is just going to be so valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, generally around this track is kind of one optimal line. It's not like there's much debate around how to take particular corners. So, these guys kind of know what they need to do and it's just about whether you can execute to perfection. And some of this track, while it is extremely technical, other parts of it are I don't want to use the word mundane, but they are fairly straightforward. So you will see these guys, particularly in qualifying, being very, very close together, especially in Div1, which of course is our top split at SRSA.
Indeed, yeah. All these guys will be very competitive, prove themselves to be earned spots in Div1. And all to play for here. Just looking at marking Renswick here is up 0.15 on his best lap right now. Should bump him at least one place. And just hold it through the line here. Ooh, I think that we allowed to go out there on the exit. Full marking is valid, and it actually bumps him up 2 places to number 2. Still in first spot.
Yeah, just the 10th off Hannes van Wyk. Although Hannes now improves, gets into the 33s, 33.9. That's the first driver we've seen get into the 33s. So great job by the Venomworks driver of Hannes van Wyk. So I think that's Venomworks 1 and 2 at the moment. If I remember, both him and Mark are Venomworks. That's right. There we go. That livery looking stunning once again.
Guys have done a really good job out there with the liveries across the race actually. Venomworks being one of the bigger teams alongside Black Owl Sim Sports, with a strong showing.
Yeah, correct. I know some of the Black Owl guys didn't have a huge amount of time for practice for this race, so I know Brett Crocombe only loaded up Misano for the first time today, so he's still getting up to speed, I think. I mean, he's raced here before, but he's seasoned to go, so just he needs to find his feet again. You can see he's sort of 8/10 off pole at the moment, so he's really sort of the break between those top 4 guys. We're very, very close, 4/10 between them. But we are seeing sort of 7th, 8th, 9th is quite close between them, and then 10th and 11th. Interesting to see Jason. I was expecting Jason to be much higher. Maybe he just hadn't hooked up a lap yet. I don't know.
He's up after second 0.6 actually now on his best. So if he manages to bank this, he'll leapfrog a little bit. He's got quite a while to go still. Doing alright. 0.76 up now. It's Delta. Excuse me. So, give him a sec. There's still 4.5 minutes left of this quali session. Which just letting us know that he wasn't feeling too great today, but he'll be back for the next round.
Oh, that'll be good to have him back.
Now is almost 0.1. In fact, it's 0.1 up on his Delta, but that's not going to be enough to challenge Hannes.
There we go. Jason Luck jumping up from down around 13th, 12th, 13th up to 7th. So good improvement from Jason.
Dennis Killett now is up almost half a second on his best in the Papaya McLaren, very apt. And should leapfrog him a couple places if he manages to bank it.
Yep, coming onto the long straight now, or it is effectively a long straight, because the couple of kinks that you see are taken flat out. Yeah, he's certainly in these cars with a fair amount of downforce. But yeah, we'll have to see if he can convert this little section here. It gets very tricky, this double right-hander. If you're not careful, you can run wide or even just spin out. It does get, and you can see him running wide there. I think that's going to invalidate it, I would imagine.
Regardless, he's still in the red now, so I think that's been split, unfortunately. He needs to stay out there for another lap. He wants to improve.
As we go, just under 3 minutes left of qualifying. Roxanne Bartle doing pretty well at the moment, in 8th position right now. I'm sure she'll be quite pleased with 8th, but of course, there's always time to be found, and you've always got pressure from behind as well, as everybody tries to find a little bit of pace here and there. Just a 10th or 2, and she'll manage to jump up into 7th, but just not quite so lucky on that lap.
He's up 0.3 on his best. It's about to run the line. It's very wide there.
Very wide.
Hopefully that will count. He's up 0.4. May not count it because it would have been problems. I think he invalidated his lap there.
Yeah, because I saw Endrin Governor following in exactly the same line right behind him. So if that has invalidated the lap, we're going to have to watch out for that in the race, because that'll be a very easy place to get a couple of track cuts. So we watch Renier coming through. Keeps it
looks like
nice
half
and
a second
clean.
up.
There's a jump in.
Maybe
Phase
there was
12.
Unfortunately, my little broadcasting app shows the delta if it's positive or negative, but I don't believe it tells me if it's been invalidated. Whilst it may look like they're up on their time, it's not always truthful. 1.5 left to quali. Currently on board with MP Murit, who is 0.3 up on his delta, which I don't think is enough to improve Thomas Trollope ahead. Close. He's managed just to find some more time now at 0.6, so that might gain him a position. Keeps this up. To be close, his current best is 136.2. Crosses the line. 135.6 and does jump a couple of positions.
That's good improvement right at the death. Often not easy to do when the pressure's on like that. Track's up to 43 degrees now. Hannes van Wyk looked like he ran slightly wide there.
He's bailing out of that.
Yeah, I think that would have been a cut. 16 seconds left on the clock. These guys are going to be finishing up their last laps. I don't think we'll see anybody else get across the line for another lap with only 6 seconds to go. Just looking at the track map, there's not enough time to get across the line, so we've only got, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys out on track at the moment at the death. So it does look like Hannes van Wyk will probably have this in the bag unless Mark van Rensburg or Michael Root or anything.
He's up 0.2 on his best right now, which should leapfrog him at least one position.
Van Rensburg's coming across the line now, though it looks like he's stopping on the side. He's going very slowly.
His delta's not reporting. He's on a fast lap.
Yeah, so I think he's back in the pits. Ooh.
Quite wide there, Mark.
Pushing to the absolute max. Oh, fails into the dirt. I think he must have invalidated there. That's unfortunate, but it does mean that we have Hannes van Wyk taking pole at Misano with followed by Mark van Rensburg and Ross Bartle, Mike LaRue in 4th, Brett Crocump getting up into 5th position with Endrin Govender a little bit behind. So Brett is in a little bit of no man's land there, being 8/10 off the pace of pole, but Endrin's 2/10 from that, and Jason's another 4/10 from that. So 5th, 6th, 7th kind of operating in a different lap time bracket, shall we say, but we'll have to see what it's like for the race.
Yeah, indeed. We're going to take a quick ad break now in between the quali and race session. See you in a couple of minutes. So of course the Renault Clear adverse just playing because parallel series we're running every alternate week here at Semi South Africa is the Renault Clear Cup on the Assetto Corsa. Interlaced with this, the GT3 on Assetto Corsa Competizione. As we see the drivers get away now on their rolling formation lap.
Right, so the track has had some evolution. It's gone backwards, so we're at fast now instead of optimum. I don't imagine we'll finish the race on fast. I'm sure we'll get to optimum, but also 34 degrees air temp and 37 track, so definitely a little bit cooler, which I'm sure a lot of these guys will love, especially the Mustang drivers and the BMW drivers. There's a big gap there. Why is there such a big gap between Bartlett and LaRue? What's happened to LaRue? Oh, he's just a lot further behind for some reason.
The really can not just catching him out of shot there.
Once again, you can see these drivers dragging their brakes all the way down the straight, not doing too much weaving. So you can see Governor in the background. They're doing some weaving, but the best way to warm these tires is just to drag your brakes. Yeah. Put the heat through the wheel.
Don't do that in real life. Overlapping cars. It's a good thing in them just to have the cars able to ghost through each other, essentially, just because there can be some shenanigans on the formation lap. But as soon as the lights go green, essentially the cars will have collisions enabled.
Yeah, and just a reminder to everyone, everybody has to make a pit stop tonight. That's the little yellow one that you see next to everyone's race on the next to everyone's name on the tower. You don't have to take tires. You do have to put fuel in a minimum of 1 litre. So splash and dash is absolutely fine here for a 75-minute race, but it's always a case of, are you going to make those tires last to the end? Do you need to take tires? How are you going to manage the conditions? So it always produces quite interesting results to see the different strategies play out. We'll have to see what Misano is like. I have a feeling tires might be required here, although it is very difficult to get past on track. An extra tire advantage could be a big deal here, and the undercut. We've seen the undercut be quite effective in this series so far as they round the second last corner, coming to the last corner. Everybody lining up side by side, waiting for our rolling start.
This is going to be very interesting. It is quite hot out there today, so if you don't look after your tires, they may wear quite a lot. But yeah, rounding the final bend now, lining up, obeying the speed limit, waiting for the green lights.
That's it. Right. Van Rensburg and Bartel have got a much better start than Van Beek.
Actually contact between teammates. Yeah, Rensburg's not going to enjoy that. And a lot of pressure now by Ross Bartel behind.
Yeah, Van Rensburg getting very squirrely, having to take a completely different line. I imagine he won't get a track cut for that, given that it's the very first lap. Oh, but off!
And that's going to be speed.
Yeah, that's given Bartel the position. So Ross is now up to second, with Van Rensburg now being pressured by Krokam. Krokam having a great start. Remember, in fifth off the line, but already in fourth and looking to take third up the inside under brake. Oh, a little bit of a tap.
He's going to fling it around the outside now.
Oh, more goodness. You'd think this is the Clio Cup with the amount of door banging going on, but Krokam has that third position at the moment, and Van Rensburg once again under more pressure. Jason Luck also with a great start, up to fifth position. That's a really good start from Jason, although he's got Mike LaRue all over the back of him now. Looks like LaRue is through and makes it stick through that tricky fast braking section where the car just wants to step out on you the whole time. And as we cross the start-finish line, as they go through the last corner, looking for that start-finish line, we've had a lot of position changes already in lap 1, right?
I think the top 5 drivers here, you used to see on board of Jason Luck looking ahead at the back was front. So it's Hannes van Vleet, followed by Ross Bartel, then Brett Kirkhope. And another little bit of a contact here.
That's Van Rensburg spinning. Who was that? Was that Krokant? I think Van Rensburg and
And that's
Krokant.
allowed the other Porsche of the... Oh, I said that Porsche. I think that's... Who did I see scampering through there?
A lot. Quite a few drivers. I think we're going to see a lot of change here. Krokant and Van Rensburg. There you go. You can see the tower updating them, going all the way down 6th and 7th now, respectively. Krokant and Van Rensburg just not giving each other a break here tonight.
Yeah, certainly off to an aggressive start in this race.
Only on lap 2. Yep. So both these drivers finding speed in different sections of the track, and that's, you know, causing them to come together slightly in places they're not expecting of each other. Oh, running very wide. Brett is going to lose out to Van Rensburg and probably to Maritz behind. No, Maritz looks like he's just tucked in behind. So Brett does seem to maintain that position, although Marissa's going up the inside. Is he going to make it work? No. Backs out of it very sensibly. That could have ended in tears for both drivers in a big way. Up front though, we've got Hannes van Vleet with the fastest lap of the race so far, with 1.3 seconds between himself and Bartel. So at the beginning of the race, we can see that Hannes van Vleet has definitely got the legs on Ross, but we have seen over the course of the season that Ross is the kind of driver who gets into the stint over time. He doesn't come out the blocks doing his personal bests immediately. He builds into the stint and gets better as it goes along, tends to make his tires last a bit longer as a consequence. So I will be keeping a close eye on Ross Bartel as the race progresses.
We're seeing here now from the lead and even Governor under attack by Mark van Rensburg and Lando. Mark's having a little look up the inside here. Well, they're still side by side. Good room, I think. Always he pushes Ingram off and they both go wide now. It's going to place them a lot of pressure with Brett Kirkhope in the mix now.
Speed. This is door handle and mirror racing. Oh, that's going to be sideways. Hold it, Brett. Hold it. Drift it.
I think he has.
He's got it.
Yeah.
That was amazing, Brett. Well done, bud.
It's good, but it goes back to what I was saying about looking after your tyres at the beginning of this race. We're only on about lap 2-3 here.
I do remember though the last round, Brett was very sideways all over the place at Donington. Admittedly, those were in damp conditions.
Dennis Kimmett here, a bit of a dive past Roads.
Contact. Oh, they both managed to keep it pointed in the right direction, though. I thought Gillett was going to go around there for sure.
He's got the left-hander now, and I think he's going to have some understeer, so he always managed to stay ahead of that.
Okay, this track just showing how difficult it is to overtake around Misano. Before you know it, you're into the next corner, so you've really got to try and muscle your way through, and that's leading to a lot of these drivers just banging mirrors the whole time. You see, Brett Krokant is not letting Mark van Rensburg get away from him.
Yeah, keeping him on the sides.
I think they're also catching Jason Luck as well.
Those.
So definitely looking to be a Porsche Lamborghini Ford battle very soon, and then of course if these guys are battling, that might bring Adrian Govender into the mix and have a BMW. Having it go as well. There's Gillett going very, very wide through this long left-hander. Looks like it was that Timothy Gomez as well doing the same thing, and that's allowed Renier to have a go. Speed of that Mustang we know is prodigious, but is he going to make it stick? Does look like he's got the move done. Thomas Trollope also looking to... That was close. That was very close. Yeah, very close to the back of Timothy Gomez.
Goes up fast from the back of that Ferrari. broken away a little bit here from Martin Rensburg leading this next pack of 4, 5, 6. Brett's looking to be alongside of Jason behind. I think there was a smidgen of contact there, and Jason was speared off track. There's just to keep some momentum to stay in this fight and set up the inside here.
Yeah, has the inside line, so I think he'll get that position back. So even though there's a bit of contact, honours even. Yeah, so Mark van Rensburg's only dropped off the back of the top 3 with all the action that he was involved in at the start of the race. But we did see those top 4 drivers putting in lap times that were a little bit ahead of the rest of the pack. So I'm not surprised we've had that top 3 breaking away. We see Jason Luck running quite wide on the exit there. These guys are going to have to watch out. All of this argy-bargy is going to be bringing track cuts into play very early in the race with just over an hour left of this race. You can see Brett coming very wide. We saw lots of laps invalidated there in qualifying. So we'll have to see if that has some sort of negative impact on his pace. I don't want to take too many risks too early. But he gets a great drive out of that corner. Look at that. This will be a great move if he makes it stick up the inside.
Clean. Yeah.
Very clean. I thought Jason Luck would be on the power a little bit earlier. Try and get the
traction. Shout out to Toxic Monkey and Rudy on Rails in chat, just talking about how the divisions work here. Toxic Monkey saying he recently joined our Discord looking for a local series. Great to hear. He's going to try out the next race, but he thinks it's a little bit more competitive than what he's used to do. So yeah, as Rudy points out, this is Division 1. We run multiple divisions, essentially dividing the drivers up into the raw pace initially at the start of the season, based on what we call HLQ or hot lap qualifying. And then essentially Division 2 Plus, as we're calling it, it's a multi-split series, will automatically be divided up based on the rank in simRacing.gp, assuming the grids need to flip. Of course, we're seeing just underneath the split mark of 20 drivers in Div 2 currently. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about not being good enough or anything like that. You know, we run multiple divisions, so come along and join and learn. The way to do it is just by jumping in on the action, by doing.
Yeah, get involved. You always find a good dice here at simRace, they say, and you always find somebody who's around your pace as well. That's the beauty of our division splits, as you say, Ryan. And yeah, get involved.
We of course run a number of different things. The GT3, the Renault Clio Cup on AC as well, which is a little bit more forgiving potentially to some beginners. And then a couple of other random things going on, like the Hot Lap Challenge with Race Room, which is a sort of a rotational basis every 2 weeks. We've got Sim Rally that was for a short stint on Richard Burns Rally, but we've got plans right now afoot to set up a EAWRC championship, which I know is going to get the likes of Charles Wilkin very excited when we make a return. We've got the Ad Hoc series, which started a couple of weeks ago, which is every Wednesday night, and we're racing on a set of course the Formula Student car on a bunch of mini go-kart tracks that are sort of the cloned of real-world Formula 1 tracks. And that's been a bunch of fun, just for fun series essentially. So lots to do.
Yeah, lots to do, lots to take part in, lots to experience, and yeah. As Ryan's saying, get involved. It's good fun. So how have we missed this, Ryan?
We missed Ross Bartle taking the lead.
Yeah, Tower's showing Ross taking the lead. I can't remember when that happened.
Because Martin Rensburg was lying in fourth, and now he's third. So
somebody's
dropped off, and it's Hannes. Is it Hannes van Beek?
I think it must be Hannes van Beek. He must have disconnected.
I'm not seeing him on the leaderboard to be able to click on, unfortunately, anymore. And then we did indeed miss what happened there.
That's really unfortunate for Hannes, leading the race comfortably. and gifting Ross the current lead, but Mike LaRue is really on the back of him. We've seen Black Owl Sim Sports against Venom Works time and time again this season, and we're about to see it at Misano now. Great view from this bonnet cam. You see how much these cars, you can see how much these cars move around through that fast section where you're on the brakes as well, showing you just how on the limit these guys are all the time. Just slightly wide there. That wouldn't be the track cut, but definitely.
Yeah, look at that Mustang take off there in the distance.
Yeah, you can
they're both Mustangs, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see just Ross had the grip out the corner very nicely.
Excellent. Yeah.
And over the course of this season, we've actually seen Ross having to absorb a lot of pressure for a lot of the races. I mean, you remember Watkins Glen, first race of the season, he had Sean Bingham all over the back of him. There's obviously now where it's happening. I'm sure it happened last race as well at Donington. A lot of pressure. So Ross is quite used to this defensive style of driving, running very wide there though. Interesting to see if that's just his line or if that was something that he got slightly wrong. Because it looked like a track cut to me.
It certainly looked like a big chunk out of that line indeed.
So it does seem like you can take a little bit of liberty with the white line on some of these corners. But you just have to know which ones you can abuse.
Extensive practice and experimentation a little bit as well, I guess, to figure out what you can, what you can't.
So Brett Crocump is in 4th at the moment. Remember last race we saw him and Jason Luck, and once again Jason's all over the back of Brett. We saw Brett run a contra strategy to most drivers and really make it work in his favor, having had a pretty disastrous, wrong word, but not the qualifying he would have liked. He made a different race strategy work incredibly well for him, and see him absolutely shoot up the rankings over the course of the race. Now we'll see how he can deal with the pressure of this Porsche. Remember, the Porsche, one of the slower cars in a straight line. Mustang definitely the quickest. We've seen in the past rounds where Jason's had to make sort of lunge type moves to affect any kind of overtaking, because he's just so much quicker through some of these corners. But just on the straight, you can see that Mustang just pulls away.
I've just
Very
seen
little left.
track tick up to optimum now, 39 degrees track temp. Keep up even more, I'm guessing. Lap time should tumble even more.
He slides there from Jason.
Consequent grip.
Yeah, but well hold from Jason, that little slide. That Porsche can be tricky on the limit. We've seen
a lot, yeah.
And Indra Govard is still in the mix there in sixth position, having a very strong showing tonight, at the moment at least, in that lone BMW. Roxanne Barthel's having a pretty decent scrap at the moment as well, in 9th position, pretty close to who's that, Moritz ahead. Bartel on Moritz. This is Mustang on Mustang. Roxanne ended up qualifying 8th, if I'm not mistaken, so now running 9th, looking to get that starting position back. But also nicely running in the top 10. It's a good exit here. You never know. There could be an opportunity to be had. You just have to really pressure the guy in front of you to make a mistake. And seize on.
Easier to chase than it is to bend. I was calling for a lot of experience to keep the head in front.
Yeah, definitely. You just got to take that opportunity when it arises. Be able to recognize that as soon as it comes across your doorstep, so to speak.
Roxanne's car had looking over. Yeah, as I say, involved in some early lap door banging and make up some positions now. Hannes signing off in chat. Hannes, what happened? Disconnected.
Hopefully, I mean, could be power outage, could be internet disruption. You never know, but that really is disappointing when you're running at the head of the field and you have something like that happen. It's a little bit soul destroying. Mike LaRue is now past Ross Bartle. So, given the gap, I would expect that Ross has possibly made a bit of a mistake. That's allowed the Venomworks driver to slip through. Definitely seemed to have the pace over Ross, given that he was stuck to the back of his bumper.
There we go, confirmation from Hannes' power went out. That sucks, Hannes. Sorry to hear.
That's very, very unfortunate. Endron Governor looks like he's all over the back of Jason Luck at the moment. Just 0.3 of a second separating them. This little trio having a nice ding-dong battle. Brett Burkamp, though, does look to have the pace over the other two just at the minute. It is helping Governor have a bit of a sniff here at Jason. Also just keeping an eye on the tower for Bartle and the Ritz for that 8th position. Those two still very, very close together. I see Ross Bartle has taken a 10th out of Mike LaRue on that last lap, so you never know, maybe Ross is going to come back at Mike. As you say, Ryan, sometimes it is a bit easier to follow, and as soon as you get into clean air, and you get that lead that you're so desperate for, and you don't really know what to do with it. Roxanne now ahead of Moritz. So Anthony Moritz falling back to 9th, Roxanne up to 8th. Eventually getting her man. And now looking ahead to try and track down Dennis Gillett, but the gap there is definitely not large here. There's about 9 seconds between them. 10 seconds almost. So that'll take a while to come down.
So now release to some clear there.
Yep.
Endron looking for 4.5 Jason. 33. So 15 laps in here, we're seeing a few battles develop down the field. This one right now, Thomas Trollope is missing out and just closing out the back of... Oh, is that... Anthony Moritz gets very sideways in his Mustang, and that's possibly Bruce. He's not quite alongside here, but he's definitely going to be licking his chops at the sound of that Thomas Trollope.
Yeah, especially as he's seen Roxanne get past, so he knows it's possible, and he knows there can be some opportunities to do so. So this Aston really showing a bit of turn of pace at the moment, which is great to see. We haven't seen too much Aston action of late.
It's sort of fallen out of favour in recent seasons. I do remember when Lawrence Turner used to race with us, he was a firm favourite for Aston. He did very well in it. Yeah, Thomas being the only Aston driver in the Div1 series at the moment. Alright, so the best laps are 145.7. Beats Michael Rue beats them currently best lap of 144.2. But certainly all the top three all doing 134s. Brett Camp has a 135.4. Yeah, like 3 tenths down.
Yeah, and you can see it's just over 11 seconds back from third place. So definitely you can see those top three have a significant pace advantage over the rest of the field. Mark van Rensburg on a bit of a recovery drive, but keeping with all the action that he was involved in to start with, that obviously put him back from the leaders, but definitely looking to try and regain that over the course of the race. You can just see Ross Bartle ahead. Ross yo-yoing back and forth to Mike LaRue, both of them in the same cars, but that gap is wavering between about 1.2 and 1.8 seconds. So these guys sort of trading blows between each other. Timothy Gomez, I think, is right behind Renier hitting at the moment. Oh, as I say,
into the wall.
That's unfortunate. That's a lot of damage. Yeah, you can see that car is not tracking properly. Even as he got going, you didn't even need to go into the onboard. I think he might retire that car. That's smart. He was not going to get that back in a hurry, I'm afraid. But Thomas Trollope probably the closest battle at the moment. That's to the back of Anthony Moritz. But it does look like Van Rensburg's falling back to Bartle, but Bartle put the hammer down in a big way. I mean, he's just gained almost a second on Mike LaRue. And that's not just because LaRue's had a bad lap. I mean, he's pulled away from Van Rensburg as well, quite significantly. So Ross really finding some speed here. We've got sort of 3/4 of an hour left. So we're starting to come up on halfway. Halfway is 37 minutes, so these guys are maybe starting to think about pit stops. If the tires are feeling good and they want to change them, you could be seeing them just using up every little last inch of rubber.
That's true. They may be upping on the pace now. Anticipating a pit stop soon. Moon's closed up there a little bit for Jason Mike. Caught just under half a second behind.
Keeping an eye on that delta between Ross and Mike. Almost, we're just under a second now between them.
Still neck and neck now. Their last lap times were basically 0.003 difference between them.
Goodness. Remember, with the downforce that these GT3 cars do produce, when you do get behind somebody, that you do get an effect. You know, you do lose grip. Particularly around a track like Misano, you're going to find that that effect is quite large.
What's that up in the background? Yeah.
Maybe that was just a glitch.
I filled in the wax on the market bits. I'm not sure. I see anyone coming down the leaderboard.
No, nor do I see any yellow flags. It must have just been a
It's fine.
Trick-
Someone.
yeah. trick of the light, something like that. Back in now, and that's mainly, I think, because Bartle's now being stuck slightly behind Mike LaRue, trying to find a way through. So Van Rensburg is catching up to LaRue himself. So you know, you give this 5-10 laps, and you could see a three-way fight here.
Last lap is 35.82. Mike is doing 135.94. Or similar, just stuck behind them.
Brits is in the pits. Huge difference, about 10th and a half.
Yeah.
We're going to come across the start-finish line now, so let's see what happens here. Ooh, Van Rensburg. Yeah. So Van Rensburg basically stopping at exactly the halfway mark. Certainly by the time he comes out, will be exactly the halfway mark. See a little bit of damage on that Lamborghini, but not too bad. I think it's mostly cosmetic. I doubt he'll be repairing the dents and scrapes experienced from earlier in the race.
His lap times are still.
Particularly, we'll keep an eye out on his lap times now that effectively he's been released into clean air, so he should pick up pace a little bit. Jason Luck also in the pits. Endrin Governor now jumping into the pits. Dennis Gillett in the pits. So everybody piling into the pits now. So I think we will see most of the field take their pit stop halfway through, and we'll have to see who takes tires, who doesn't. But the Black Hull Sim Sports guys seem to be going long. Brett Crocamp hasn't pitted, nor has Ross Bartle, nor has Roxanne Bartle or Rainier Hatting. Who was going to fall foul of those track cuts? And it looks like Endrin, in his pursuit of Jason Luck, has used up a bunch of those sweeties and has come out the pits and gone one step too far, so he'll dive back in the pit very shortly, I'm sure, to serve that penalty. Of course, the classic thing to do is then get yourself a stop and go because you're now annoyed with yourself for cutting the track. But let's hope he doesn't do that. Okay, so Roxanne Bartle is now in the pits, it looks like. Yes, Roxanne's in the pits. Oh, there we go. That looked like another black owl. That's Rainier. And now Ross Bartle. Okay, so all the black owl guys coming into the pits on this lap. We'll see if Crowcump is the black sheep of the family and stays out. Here comes the pits. Looking a little bit scruffy there as well. So I think has either just pushed a little bit too hard on those new tires, trying to eke out the best lap he possibly can, get a bit of an undercut on the likes of Ross Bartle, but it hasn't really worked out for him, unfortunately. So Ross has lost out in that pit stop. In that pit stop sequence, he's now 2.5 seconds behind Mike LaRue. So the undercut definitely was worth something here, getting onto that fresh tire early has allowed Mike to pull once again a gap of 2.5 seconds. That fine hasn't got a stop go for speeding in the pits. It comes out behind Jason Luck now, so Van Rensburg slipping into 6th position. I imagine Jason will let him through quite quickly though. And there's the move.
Lots of space given the inside.
Yeah, and off Van Rensburg goes. Gillett in the background, hoping to pick up some decent there, but given these guys are teammates, I don't think there's ever going to be any contact there. Right, so Van Rensburg up to 4th and 8 seconds off Crowcump, so Dennis Gillett really is actually having a pretty outstanding race tonight, up in 6th position. I don't think we've seen this high in a Div1 race this season. And chasing down Jason Luck, who is having a pretty good season himself. Gap between LaRue and Bartle very solid and stable at the moment. Looks like a 2-second gap right now. So actually I lied. Ross is making a small dent in that, and it's just literally in this last lap. Although it could be because back markers are coming into play.
Also the full second quicker last lap.
Decent lap times at the moment to maintain that current third position, provisional third position, last place on the podium. Bartle looked to be very sideways through that sweeping bend, but held it nicely. So it'll be interesting to see the difference in lap time between Krokap and Van Rensburg. Looks like Van Rensburg's taken 2/10 off. Oh no, I see Rainier Hatting has just got a drive through that really is unfortunate. It cost you about that amount. Going to be very close, just looking at the track map. Moritz coming through turn 1 now. And I think he will have that done, although they're going to come out right next to each other. Actually, no, they'll be right next to each other now. So Moritz has really got onto the back of Trollop. And Trollop's tyres will not have liked him going through the pit lane so slowly. Of course, they have to. Giving him a chance to cool down, or some graining or blistering, probably graining as they're cooling down. So these two guys are just so close. The competition tonight has been fantastic between these top two drivers. The gap between Van Rensburg and Krokap has stayed at a solid 6 seconds, so Brett has really come alive in this in the second half of the race and found some excellent pace. Once again, he's gained a lot of positions, or significant positions. Looks like LaRue ran a little bit wide there. It'll be a fantastic result to see Krokap on the podium. Did he end up on the podium last race, Ryan?
We were at Donington, and it was Mark Van Rensburg, Ross Bottle, Brett Krokap.
Okay, so it could be back-to-back podiums for Mr. Krokap. Quite incredible that for most of this race, our closest battle has been right at the front of the grid, and continues to be so.
17 minutes and there we go. It would have been even closer back, I think, if Mark Van Rensburg hadn't had his drive-through.
Now it's Mike LaRue's turn to be about as close as he possibly can to Ross Bartle, all over the back of his bumper. There must be a tenth or two between him here. Ross just getting the better exit. Long straight. This corner in particular is where Ross seemed to be much better, and he's gone sideways. Is he going to maintain the position? LaRue up the inside, slots it into the gap, as I said before, you got to find that tiny, tiny little error and
All it
make
takes.
your opponent pay for it. And
Yeah.
Ross getting very squiggly in the background, just dipping a wheel into the grass, and that's it. Mike is back in front with 4 minutes remaining.
Really well to capitalise on that mistake from my Sparkle there. We're back in front.
Just shows what putting pressure on any driver can do for you.
This back of P6 there. P5. Dennis Killings and Jason Lockwood around Mark of Peterson.
It's closing back up again. The gap was 8 tenths, now 6 tenths. But unless another mistake is made, I don't see a change of position here with just 2 minutes to go. So I expect one more lap after this one. See the helmet cam from Ross's point of view. See just how much he's starting to fight this car.
Directions, you know, just going in the direction it wants.
Yep. Falling a couple of tenths behind Ruru now. If I could close a bit, back up a little bit there. Oh, having to get off the throttle. I think Ross is tired but not happy with him right now.
Leaders on final lap now.
Yeah, final lap now. So Mike really just has to hang on for one more lap and he'll take a really epically well-deserved victory. Time ticks down to 0 now, Ryan. That's it. Time's up. Last lap, last gasp. Possibly Mike LaRue, Ross Bartle to be decided. Dennis Gillett and Jason Luck still to be decided. As they go on to their last lap. Is coming through the last little section now, and it looks like Mike LaRue is going to have this in the bag.
The final corner.
Yeah, a great win for Mike and a great win for Venomworks as well. Flashing his light as he crosses the start-finish line. Incredible race. I think both him and Ross are going to be absolutely exhausted after this.
Certainly had a ding-dong battle between them. He's going to come home safely in third position.
Well-managed drive from halfway through the race for Brett. And another great podium.
Solid finish from Brett, especially as it sounded like he was near arrive and drive tonight, as we said.
Yeah, really starting to find his form again is Brett. Just fantastic to see. Mark van Rensburg coming home in 4th position once again. A little bit of a what if for Mark van Rensburg tonight.
There's some valuable points on the board in 4th position. Could have been better. Penalties. Facing luck with those manages to stay ahead of James Killett for P5 and 6th respectively.
Looks like it's going to be a good result for Roxanne Bartlett as well. I'm sure she'll be very, very happy with 7th position. Around a track that can so easily have you caught out. That's us for tonight.
Roxanne currently 12th in the standings, so yeah, PC was going to do very well to jump up the position tonight. And yeah, that was it for tonight. Thank you very much, Nick.
Yeah, thank you, Ross, and thank you for
doing some donuts there on track. Roxanne enjoying her drive tonight. And yeah, that was Misano around 4. And Wednesday we're off to the mini GPK Suzuka track with the Formula student. And then we're at Bike and Mickey High Speed Ring for the Renault Clio Cup next Monday. And the next round of GT3s. Heading to Porter Card.
Yeah, looking forward to all of those, particularly Clio Cup. I think that's been a fantastic little series this season at SRSA. So if you're feeling like getting involved, jump over to srsa.co.za, simracesa.co.za. There you'll find a link to join our Discord and come get involved. There's something for everyone.
Absolutely, you said it, Nick. Always a pleasure, Nick. Thanks so much for joining. And we'll catch everyone else next Monday. Ciao for now.
Cheers all.